boys and girls, good morning. I hope y'all have had a good weekend and you are ready to do some art today. We have been talking about Matisse, and today we're going to make a mobile with Matisse shapes using this fun foam that I put in your box. And you're also going to be using your dowel sticks, your glue, your scissors, and your paintbrush that I put in there for your glue. Now, here's what we're gonna do. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take your two dowel sticks and we're gonna glue them together to make a cross, okay? So you're going to take your glue, very carefully take the top off, get some glue, and we're going to put it in the middle. We're gonna put a dot in the middle of your stick. I'm thinking your glue is going to be really thick like mine, so that's good. We want it to be thick. We don't want it to be drippy. So we're going to take that, and we are going to glue our two dowel rods together like this, making them a plus sign or an X, okay? Now, they're going to have to be set across to the side so they can dry. It's going to take a while for them to dry. Now, if you want to, you can also take some string. And I didn't put any string in the box because I wasn't really thinking about you having to do this. And if you leave it to the side and let it dry, then it probably won't matter and you won't have to do this. But what you also can do is wrap your sticks like this and make a cross go around the glue also. So your two sticks will stay together like you want them to. And then you can just tie them together on the back. So you go around and around and around and then tie them together. Now that's if you have some string. If you don't have any string, just set the two sticks together and let them dry like this, okay? So you want them to dry where they look like this, because what you're going to do is we're going to make some shapes to hang off of here. So inside your box, you are going to find the bag that's got the foam in it. Now, not the foam sheets. The foam sheets are going to be something for another week. This is going to be these sheets that were in the bag. And then you also had some fishing line in there that was on a little card like this. And you had a toothpick. So take all that stuff out and set it on the table. Remember to protect your table like I've told you before, okay? And just take your bag and move it out of the way, and you might need to put some scraps in there. You can always save the scraps and you can use them later to make a mosaic or something like that. So here's what we're gonna do. Remember last week when we talked about our collages and our organic shapes and our geometric shapes? We're going to make our organic shapes. And remember, the organic shapes, when you're making the organic shapes, you don't know what they're called. They're just like wiggly, squiggly, circly, all different kinds of shapes that don't really have a name. There's not like a circle and a triangle and a square that you know exactly what they look like. You know that they have 4 sides or they don't have any sides, like a circle doesn't have any sides. A triangle has 3 sides. Those are all geometric shapes. But the shapes that we're going to be cutting for our mobile are going to be freeform shapes, which are organic shapes. So I want you to pick out some different colors. And I want you to make some big shapes and make them real interesting. Remember how he calling the collages were painting with scissors? So as you're cutting out, I want you to just kind of think about different objects. So if I was thinking about like a leaf, like an oak leaf, I would think about how an oak leaf is shaped, and it's kind of organic-y, wavy kind of shapes like this. And I'm just going to cut my shape as I go. And then I'm going to make it kind of come around like this. And I have a shape, okay? So that's a good size. Do you see how much of the stuff I used? I tried not to waste anything. Now, You can always go back later and use this. So just go ahead and stick it down in your bag for right now. And you know, you could use the negative shapes if you wanted to, but on this one, I think I'm going to concentrate more on the positive shapes. But it's totally up to you. If you wanted to cut part of this off and hang it on there as well, you could. Now, I gave you lots and lots of different pieces. You don't have to use every one of these. But if you want to, you can. Or you can just get some sticks from out of the yard, and with what you have left over extra, you can make another mobile and give it to somebody. That'd be nice. So anyway, all right, let's cut out some more shapes. So I think on this one, I'm going to make it more of a blobby, kind of roundish sort of shape. See how I don't really know what to call it? That's because it doesn't have a name. Because it's an organic shape. It doesn't really stand for anything. Maybe it looks like a puddle, or it looks like a paint splop or something like that. I don't know. So here's another shape. Remember, you're going to take your scraps and you're going to put them back in your bag so you might can use them later. You never know. You might think of something you want to make with those. So I've got this blobby shape, and I have this leaf shape. And then let's think of some of his other shapes. Remember, he made some of his shapes kind of look like a plant leaf. So I'm going to make kind of like a leafy kind of shape like this. But it's kind of spiky. So I think I'm going to make 4 shapes that are kind of big. And then I'm going to make some more shapes that are kind of smaller. And then I'll decide what I like the best. I don't know. So this one's going to have some more like little spiky shapes. See, like this. Now, I just started cutting. I didn't know what I was cutting. I didn't know what it was going to end up being. I just wanted to kind of see what would come out. So that's that shape. Now, I'm going to make one more big shape. So that's 4 big shapes that I'm making. Let's see, on this one, I'm going to make it I kind of like the leafy kind of shapes. I think those are kind of cool. Maybe I'll make another one that's kind of like that. Not exactly, but. And sometimes, you know, his shapes sort of look like little fish and different things like that. So you just have to kind of look at some of those pictures I showed you and see what you think. Now, we're going to read another story today, but I wanted you to see what we were making first. So I want you to do this first, and then you can watch another movie. Or if you'd rather watch the movie first, it doesn't matter to me, whichever one you would prefer, because you're going to learn about him either way. Matisse was very interesting, and he loved to make all the cutouts, and he would have his helpers pin them to the wall until he figured out exactly how he wanted it to look. And so when you go to the museums and you see his artwork, sometimes you can see the little pin pricks in it where they had pinned them to different spots until they got them where they want them, and then they would glue them down. So I've got 1 shape, 2 shapes, 3 shapes, and 4 shapes. Then I'm going to cut out some more shapes because I want to have a few different shapes hanging off of each one. Now, a mobile means that it moves. So what'll happen is when you've got this hanging from wherever you want to put it, you want to make it balanced. So we're going to have all these different things hanging from, whoops, we're going to have each little part hanging off of here. So you're going to tie your fishing line on here, and then we're going to tie our little shapes on here, and they'll hang down. Now, you can also make another loop on the top of this if you want to. And we can tie some fishing line to this too. So whenever it hangs, it'll, you know, you can hang it from like a light fixture or a fan or something like that if you wanted to. But we're going to want it to kind of, you know, where it can move in the breeze and look nice, because a mobile means it moves, just like an automobile moves. that part of the word, which is the base word is mobile, which means to move. So anyway, all right, so let's make a few more shapes. So maybe you want this shape. You have to think about what you want it to make. So I want to make this one a little more wavy, but I want to use as much of the foam as I can because I like this foam. I think it's pretty, and I don't want to have a little teeny tiny shape. I want to have a nice big shape. So I'm going to just kind of move my scissors around. I'm not really, I'm not, let me try that again. My voice isn't working. I do not want to be moving my scissors around is what I'm trying to say. I'm moving whatever I'm cutting. So if I'm cutting paper, I'm moving the paper. If I'm cutting the foam, I'm moving the foam. I don't want to take my scissors and try to cut like this. I hold the scissors still and I move whatever it is that I'm cutting. So there's one more of that sort of a shape. And let's see, on this one, I think I'll make a no. I'm just cutting just to see what I end up with. So there's one. So I've got two more. So I don't have a blue yet. So I think I'll use this blue. Let's see. And you can think in your head what you want your shape to look like. Maybe you want it to look like a butterfly shape or a bird shape. You know, you can make it whatever kind of shapes you want. It's up to you. It's your mobile and you can make it however you want. What do you think this shape kind of looks like? Like a cloud? I think it looks like a cloud. All right, so that's one. I got one more to go. I've got one more to go. So I think this one. And remember, these can be abstract. They don't have to be anything that looks like anything, but if you want it to be, it can. So I want you to use your imagination about what you're coming up with. All right, so the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna take our toothpick, and we're gonna just poke a little hole in here. It's gonna pop right through. I don't know if you see that. See how it poked right through? So then I'm gonna take this fishing line and I'm gonna pull off some of it and cut it. This is probably about 12 inches long, okay? So I'm gonna have a piece of fishing line. I don't know if you can see that. So there's the fishing line. I'm gonna take the end of the fishing line and I'm gonna poke it through this hole. I knew I should have worn my glasses. Tell you what you can do. You can take it, you take the toothpick and kind of push it on here and it'll go through, and hopefully the fishing line will too. Yikes, where's my hole? Oh geez, I should have known better. That's bad, guys. All right, I'm gonna have to go get my glasses. Okay, I'm back. Now I can see. So I have my glasses. Where did my piece go? Here it is. All right, much better. So I'm gonna take this piece and I'm gonna shove it through the hole. And this is harder than I thought it was gonna be, to poke this hole through here. Keeps getting away from me. Okay, there it goes. All right, so you're gonna put it through there, and you might have to get a grown-up to help you. Bigger kids will probably be fine, but you're gonna just tie a little knot like that, and then pull your finger through, poke it through there again, tie one more knot, pull it tight, and there's your shape. So the idea is going to be that you're going to tie your shape onto the mobile like this. Well, what I want to do is tie this end to my mobile. So I'm going to do that by tying a knot. Well, I'm going to tie a knot into the end of my fishing line and onto my dowel. I'm going to do it again. Now, as you can see, then you're going to have it hanging off of there. Now, if you're having a hard time getting it to stay, what you can do is you can glue it again. You can put a little piece of glue on there, and that way it'll stay. But I wouldn't glue it until the very end, until you get them exactly like you want them. Now, this is not staying too good. It's being obstinate. So there's one. I'm going to tie it around there again. I know you can't see, but all I'm doing is tying the fishing knot or the fishing line around it into a knot, okay? I don't know if you can see that. But you're probably going to have to get a grown-up to maybe help you with it. Now, I want my knot, this knot, to be on the top, okay? So I have it hanging down. Then I'm going to attach all of my other pieces to it, hanging in different lengths. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to tie my fishing line to the other shapes and poke them through like I did a while ago. And then I'm going to tie on the other shapes as well. So I'm going to poke those on there. Then when I get finished, they're all going to be hanging down from my mobile, and it's going to look really nice. I think you're going to like it. And this is something you can hang up in your room. You know, you could take it to somebody else's house and give it to them as a gift if you wanted to. It's totally up to you, but I think it'd be really neat to have it hanging in your room, because I think it's going to look really cool when we're done. So, I tied that one on. And what you can do is, if you want to, you can do it all like an assembly line. Excuse me. And then when you're completely finished, then you can tie them all on the way that you want them. So I'm going to get another length that's about 12 inches long. Snip it off. Do the same thing again. Look at your piece and see how you want it to hang. Do you want it to do like this? Do you want it to do like this? Like this? I think I want mine to hang down like that. So I'm going to take my toothpick, poke my hole again. Don't do it too close to the edge because you don't want it to get torn, okay? And you're going to poke your hole through there. You're going to put your fishing line through there. We're going to tie the knot. So we're going to take our finger and we're going to wrap it around and tie it off this way, tie a knot. Then we're going to do it again and tie a knot like that. So there's my other one. So I'm going to lay it down here. And I'm going to keep going until I have all of these with my fishing line on them that I want to have hanging there. Let's see. Where did the end of that go? There it is. So there's this piece. I've got my hole in there. I'm poking it through. Now, when you get finished, if your string is really long where you tied it off, you might want to snip it a little bit, trim it up so it looks nice and neat. And that way it doesn't have all those extra little pieces of fishing line sticking off. But the neat thing about the fishing line is it's invisible when it's hanging there just about. So you really can't even see what they're hanging down from. So you're gonna tie that off. Now remember, if I'm going too fast for you, you stop the video and then catch up, okay? Because we're not in a race. We're taking our time and we're having a good time. So I hope you're enjoying working along with me. And like I said, you can always pause it and then push it again later. There's no rush for any of this because you got as long as you need to work on it. Now sometimes your fishing line might get a little tangled up. You're just gonna have to take your time and untangle it and then just cut off the part that you need. It might take a minute, but you gotta be patient and you've gotta work on undoing it. So every time I'm poking a hole in it with the toothpick and I'm pushing the fishing line through, then I'm gonna tie it off with my finger. So I'm tying it around my finger, poking it through like that, closing it, wrapping it around, poking it through there. Okay, so that's 4. That one's attached. Now, let's see, where's my end? You might want to make some of them shorter than others, some of them longer than others. You might want some to hang from this side and some that hang from the bottom, or what you think is the bottom. Okay, we're tying in a knot. Poking it through. Tying in another knot. You gotta double knot it or it'll come loose. Tying it again. Pulling it tight. There's that one. Now the bigger ones you're probably gonna wanna have hanging closer to your dowel rod, and the other ones you'll have hanging down farther. So let's see, I made a kind of a tangle, so I'm gonna have to really slowly undo it. If you pull it too tight too quickly, you're gonna put it in a knot and you won't be able to get it out. So try not to do that, okay? You just gotta take your time and pull on it just a little bit at a time so you can get it off and cut it, okay? There's this one. Kind of looks like a bunch of bananas, doesn't it? That's the fun thing about this. You can sit there and figure out what the different shapes remind you of. Okay, so there's my banana bunch. And here's my last shape. I think this one, I'm gonna kind of hang it from this side. Got my piece right here. Uh-oh, it's kind of squirrely. I'm gonna have to untie it. There we go. Snip it. Poking it through there. Is this the right one? I think I threw down the wrong part. Gotta really pay attention to what you're doing. It's easy to lose track of what you're doing. So there's my long one. It's a moth flying around. Okay. All right, so here's all my pieces. Got my orange one there first. got this red one, so I'm going to tie it around the stick just like I did a while ago. So I'm going to set it down on the table. Aim it down just a little bit more so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, I've got it down on the table. I'm going to tie it around once. Now, I'm not going to glue any of this down yet because I want to kind of see where I want to move everything before I start messing. So there's 1, 2. Now see how it's off balance? See if I were to hold this up, one side's going to go way further down, which means this side needs to have something heavier. So I'm going to have to kind of mess with it while I'm working on it to get it to hang right, okay? So you have to kind of play with it to get it to balance. So that's kind of part of the deal with the mobile. Let me show you. See right now how the stick is off balance? You're going to have to put something heavier over here to make it come back right. Don't drop it like I did. So you're going to hold it and see how it's crooked. We want it to hang straight. So now we're going to have to add some more stuff. So let's see what else we can do. We're going to hang another one over here on this side. Goodness gracious. It's kind of hard to do, guys. I'm just going to tell you. So you're probably going to need some help. All right, let's see how we're doing on our thing. Well, now it's really lopsided. So we definitely need to hang one over here. So let me get a big one over here. So I'm going to use this big green one and see what happens with this guy. So we're tying it around the knot. Or we're making a knot. We're tying it around the stick, is what I meant to say. There's one. Tying around again. That's 2. Let's see how we're doing. Okay, that's a little better. So let's move this out just a little bit and see what happens. That's helping. Okay, so you can move it up and down on the stick to see what happens. See, it's still out of whack, so we're going to have to add some more. Now this one's heavier, the red one, so we're going to have to add another shape over to this side. So let's take, on the opposite side of this red one, let's take this purple and see what happens. See? Uh-oh, I lost my green one. It must have slid right off of there. Yep. So this one went right here. You can kind of see where it slid right off. Let's see how it's going. It's looking better. So I have this purple one, just pulling this one down. So when we add one to this side, hopefully it's going to level it out. So see how you've got all your shapes hanging down? So this side's got 2 shapes. So I'm going to put two shapes on this side. I'm going to put a big and little one on each side. So this is a big one. Here's a little one. Here's a little one. I think I'll put the red and the blue on the same side. Okay. Ooh, that's looking pretty good. Now we may have to move this one over a little bit. Now we're going to add our other two pieces. So I'm going to add the pink to the yellow side. And then this green over here on this side. Actually, now let's put this green over on this side so we won't have two greens on the same side. I'm going to put this pink one. Now remember, if you're younger, you're going to have to get somebody to help you tie this on. This is not the easiest thing to do. But I know you can do it if you try. It's just going to be kind of hard, so you're going to have to get a little bit of help. Okay, so there's that one. Now I've got my one more shape. Try not to get them mixed up. So I've got one more shape. So purple, blue. Did this one fall off again? My green one's not on there very good. It keeps falling off. Let's try that again. Where did he go? So we're definitely gonna have to glue him first. He'll be one of the first ones to get glued on there. So we got this guy, and now we got one more. So I'm gonna tie the one more on. So what you might can do is get somebody to help you. You can maybe get your mom or your dad or a sister or a brother to kind of help you tie them on. Maybe they can hold it still while you wrap the knot around it. Takes teamwork. All right, so let's see how we're doing. We got this one is green. Let's see. And see how they're all hanging at a different length? So it looks interesting. As far as our, see how it's not straight? So we got to figure out how to make it a little bit straighter. So let's move this guy over to the middle. We'll move this one out a little bit. It's getting a little bit better. Keep scooting out. So you're gonna have to sit there and fool with it till you get it to even out. So let's see. This one comes over here. How about that? Pretty cool, huh? You like it? I like all the shapes. So there's your colorful Matisse mobile. And remember, the mobile means it moves around. So all these little extra strings that are on here, I can just trim those off. And then you've got a beautiful mobile to hang up in your room, and the wind can catch it and make it look nice. Isn't that cool? Okay, guys, I can't wait to see how you do. So send me a picture when you get them done, because I'd love to see it. See over here how it's holding? I'm holding it. And it's spinning around. Pretty neat. So, like I said, you can glue them from the very beginning and they'll stay. So once this glue is hard, I can take the strings off so it'll stay that way. Or you can leave the strings on, it's up to you. But that's what you're gonna get, okay guys? All right, well you guys have a good day and have fun making your Matisse Mobile or Mobile. And I will see you guys soon. I hope you have a great week. I'm in Florida this week, and so I'm taping this on Friday night before we get ready to go. So I will be on the beach this week, and hopefully whenever I get back, maybe I can show you some of the stuff that I find while I'm down there looking around on the beach. But you guys have a great day, and we'll see you soon. Bye.